Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos. So we do know so far this summer, we have completed two signings and all that, and obviously it's our first two signings under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So we have got Daniel James on the board for 18 million, and as it has been made official today, we've got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth around 50 million pounds. So that does take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend to around 68 million pounds so far this summer. So now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is going to want to build on this, and obviously he's going to want to bring at least three new additions to the squad. I think now his priorities, will be to get to recommend a central defender to come in, and also he wants to add reinforcements in that midfield. But like I said, I'm very, very happy, with the signing of Wan-Bissaka. Like I said, we've got him in a deal worth around 50 million pounds. Manchester United, of course, have paid 45 million up front, with 5 million in add-ons. Obviously, the add-ons and that are based on the appearances and all that. But I'm really, really glad, the deal has been fully finalised. He has agreed a 5-year deal with an option of an additional year worth around £80,000 a week. But the good thing about this is obviously that Wan-Bissaka is well Premier League proven, and I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he believes that obviously Wan-Bissaka has got the ingredients required to become a huge success at Manchester United and all that. He is only 21 years of age, so obviously he's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talent and all that. And I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following the policy of what following a policy that proved successful under Alex Ferguson. But I think we are moving away from the policy of signing them well established players. But now it's took our net spend to 68 million pounds on two players so far this summer. But I actually do believe now that the club need to orchestrate on selling players, of course, to help us generate funds and rebuild the squad and all that, because a lot of reports were reflecting out last week saying we've only been given 100 million pounds to spend this summer. Obviously we do know 100 million pounds is not enough to address the deficiencies in the squad, and obviously it's not enough for the number of players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend to come in. It did provide a reason why we've only been given 100 million pounds, because obviously we haven't qualified for the Champions League for next season. But I thought it'd been initially 200 million pounds that we had been given to currently spend. But the vast majority of the money, if we have been given 100 million pounds, has of course been put on Wan-Bissaka. But like I said, he's got a huge pay rise in his salary, because he was only on around £10,000 a week with Crystal Palace, and when he was at Crystal Palace, he was Crystal Palace's lowest paid player in their first team squad. So potentially now he's on £80,000 a week at Manchester United, so he has got like a £70,000 pay rise. But like I said, we had been negotiating a fee, with Crystal Palace at least for the last 3 weeks and all that. Obviously, we previously had two bids turned down for him. Obviously, we had previous bid turned down of 50 million. Manchester United offered 35 million up front, with 15 million in add-ons. But obviously, Crystal Palace had turned this down because they didn't like the structure of the offer. And obviously, we had a first bid turned down of around 40 million pounds. But Crystal Palace blatantly made it clear, they wanted around 45 million up front, or 50 million pounds up front. Plus, he's our fifth most expensive signing, and the only players that do cost more than Wan-Bissaka is Paul Pogba, who was obviously our most expensive signing, Lukaku, Di Maria, and of course Fred and all that. But he obviously, Wan-Bissaka did complete his medical on Thursday, so I am really, really happy about this. He did basically inform Crystal Palace, that he does want to join Manchester United this summer. Obviously, he had spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, graduated from their youth system at the age of 11 and all that. And obviously, initially when he was younger, Wan-Bissaka, was an out-and-out winner. But obviously now, as he was developing, he got reverted as a fullback, due to his tenacity. But I think he's regarded as one of the best, right backs in the Premier League now, without a shadow of a doubt. I think his potential is really, really good. His defensive abilities are really, really good. And plus, he's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. But he only made his senior debut in February of last year, of course, and obviously last season established himself as first team regular. And I think reflecting on his impressive performances last season, he won Crystal Palace's Player of the Year. But yeah, I'm really, really glad now he has come to Manchester United. I thought it would have been fully finalised, way before now. But obviously, we've been, negotiating with Crystal Palace about coming to an agreement on a fee. We held more extensive talks last weekend. Obviously, we held more extensive talks on Tuesday, earlier on this week and all that. But finally, he has been made made official and all that. And I think his shirt number has been revealed. I think he will be wearing the number 29. But like I said, Wan-Bissaka will be a fantastic replacement for Antonio Valencia. I think actually Valencia is making a return to Ecuador, if I'm right. Obviously, he was a long-serving player at Manchester United. He did serve 10 years at the club. He's going to be a fantastic upgrade to Ashley Young is Wan-Bissaka, and he's also going to be a fantastic cover up for Diego Dalot and all that. But I do believe he can elevate Manchester United forward, and obviously going on into this season, he's going to be our first choice right back. But like I said, we do need that right hand side addressing. I'm still actually sceptical of Manchester United getting a right winger in, because we do need a right winner, because we need someone that can link up the likes of Martial and Rashford in our attacking line. So there's still lots to address in the squad and all that. But Wan-Bissaka is a good defensive right back. We haven't had a good defensive right back since we had the likes of Gary Neville. So that full back area has been a position has been a problem for Manchester United in at least the last couple of years and all that. But now I'm really happy. We've got Wan-Bissaka on the board, our fifth most expensive signing. But hopefully now we can build on that. Like I said, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we want to bring at least 3 new additions to the squad and all that. So potentially, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anyway did say, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad this summer. Obviously, he's looking to build a squad, worthy of the club's mystery and all that, and he is still in the process of currently rebuilding. So potentially, I do know players are going to leave Manchester United. Some, like I said, Valencia is leaving, and Herrera, of course, has left on a free transfer and all that. It's probably looking better him than that Darmian and Rojo are going to be leaving the club. But I think we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for their departures. With Alexis Sanchez, I'm still sceptical of Alexis Sanchez leaving, because I think the club are finding it really difficult, to get rid of Sanchez, based on his substantial wages and all that. Obviously, he's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and all that. Manchester United doing everything, we currently can, to offload Alexis Sanchez, but I think the club are finding it, very difficult. I think the only way we can get rid of Sanchez is if we do loan him out or something like that, or Manchester United comes to some kind of agreement, to pay him half his wages off. But like I said, his wages having a really bad effect on the football club. He has been here since January 2018 and all that, and he hasn't exceeded expectation levels as we all thought he would have done. Because he did really well when he was at Arsenal. He even played under Pep Guardiola's guidance. When he was younger at Barcelona, and he flourished under Pep Guardiola's guidance. Did Alexis Sanchez, but he just hasn't replicated this form at Manchester United. He's 30. He's lost that yard of pace. He doesn't have a future at the club anywhere. So I think we've got to do everything we can, to get rid of Alexis Sanchez. Now, potentially, the main part of this video I'm going to actually, be talking about, mostly is, who should replace Paul Pogba at Manchester United now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously, doesn't want to sell Paul Pogba, but like I said, I know how much of an imperative player Paul Pogba is and all that, and he's arguably, one of the best midfielders in world football, when he's playing in the right vein, when he's playing in the right manner, when he's getting the right service, when he's playing monster, good players, and he isn't playing amongst good enough players at Manchester United and all that. But I think, if we sell him, it will help us with our rebuilding process. It will help us with our transition and all that. Because I think, it definitely will. It'll help us with our rebuilding process, and it will help us with our transition. But obviously, we put a huge transfer fee on Paul Pogba. Same with Romelu Lukaku, we put a huge transfer fee on him. But, we've said we would accept a bid in the region of around £150 million for Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba, did confirm, a couple of weeks ago, he told reporters in Tokyo, that he's seeking for a new challenge. He's publicly admitted that he wants to leave Manchester United for the first time. And he even did say, was it a couple of Sundays ago now, he was even willing to go on strike, to force a move away from Old Trafford. We do know Real Madrid and Juventus have been battling out for his services, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to keep him, because it was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to build a side around Paul Pogba and all that. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer built a great relationship up with Paul Pogba. But obviously, recent reports have suggested out that Paul Pogba and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's relationship, of course, is slowly fading. Because when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed the Manchester United reserve team, he watched some of his team in this day and age grow and develop, and of course one of them was Paul Pogba and all that. But potentially, so it is Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling now for his services. We do know Paul Pogba's first choice preference for the very, for quite some time now, should I say, has, been Real Madrid. His likely destination for quite some time has been Real Madrid and all that. Because potentially, Real Madrid have done good business so far this summer. They're doing really well. I think they've signed 5 players. I think they have spent over £300 million and all that. But I still believe Paul Pogba is on their agenda, like I currently said. But Real Madrid are reluctant, to pay up to 150 million pounds. Obviously, it's been coming out in the last couple of weeks, saying that Juventus, like I said, are interested in re-signing him. Like I said, Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Mini Raiola. They also came out a couple of weeks ago saying that the Juventus director came to London, to hold more extensive talks with Manchester United over the possibility, of re-signing Paul Pogba. But like I said, Juventus have got a budget. Juventus are, doing really good business this summer. Like I said, they are doing really, really good business this summer. They've got Matthijs de Ligt on the board. I think they've got Adrian Rabiot on the board. Obviously, they've got Ramsey and that on the board. And they've got quite a few other players on their agenda and all that. I think Tanguy Ndombele was linked to a move to Juventus, but I think, according to recent reports, he's set to make a £60 million move to Tottenham. But more than likely, Juventus probably would have to offload at least one or two of their essential players to fund the move for Paul Pogba, based on the, the huge, transfer fee, the huge price tag, that we have currently, put on him. But I don't think Juventus, would be able to afford him outright. So I think they would have to offload at least one or two of their essential players. But I think recent reports did say that Paul Pogba, is keen on making a return back to Turin, because don't forget, he did have 4 good years in Turin and all that. He did really, really well, exceeded expectation levels, but hasn't really replicated this form, since he did make the return to Manchester United. And this is, very, very disappointing. Obviously, we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, our most expensive signing, of course, is Paul Pogba. Even though he hasn't been the fundamental player as well, I thought he would have been. I still think he's probably worth in the region of around 140 or 150 million pounds and all that. But the Juventus director, recently, explained of how much, Juventus, love Paul Pogba and all that. So he could possibly, make a return to Juventus. But like I said, it is Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling out for his current services. But I think, we've definitely got to get a replacement for him. Replacement for him if he does leave Manchester United. Paul Pogba said he wants to leave Manchester United. And maybe the couple of main factor reasons why he wants to leave the club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be in Champions League football, maybe he wants to be winning silverware, maybe he wants to be competing and all that. And obviously, he's not experiencing this at Manchester United and all that. So potentially Paul Pogba has still got 2 years left on his current contract with Manchester United, with an option to extend it by a further year. A lot of reports were reflecting out last week saying that Manchester United were reportedly willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract worth up to around £500,000 a week. Obviously, that would make him the highest paid player at the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez and all that. So it did say we was willing to offer him a long-term contract. I think there was also talks of last week saying that we were set to hand Paul Pogba some kind of loyalty bonus at the beginning of next month. I think it's worth, I think the payment is around £4 million or something like that. But yeah, like I said, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been in the process of finding Paul Pogba a new club, at least for the last couple of months. It came out about 4 weeks ago saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy, in a bid, to convince him to remain at the football club. I think it did say a while back that the captaincy is going to be given to Ash Young for next season and all that. But yeah, Paul Pogba has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. He has been widely spoken about, especially throughout the course of this window. But reflecting back last year, when under the Jose Mourinho era, Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. There was talks about him going to Juventus last year. I think there was also talks about him going to Barcelona, back in January. But Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho, of course, left the club, because obviously they had a bad relationship and all that. And they had a bad relationship and all that, so Paul Pogba did get one of his best wishes. Paul Pogba at Manchester United has won the Europa League and the League Cup. That came in his second season with Manchester United and all that. And last season, his stats were very, very impressive. He scored 16 goals and provided, I think, 11 assists in 47 games in all competitions. And we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. And we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba when Ander Herrera, of course, was currently playing. But we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on, bringing the right players to Manchester United who he thinks are going to be good enough to represent Manchester United, who he thinks are going to be good enough to elevate Manchester United forward. But he's also, working on, trying to keep his imperative players in the football club. There you go. Prime example, Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba definitely wants to leave. Like I said, probably wants to leave because of the lack of competitiveness and all that, and probably wants to rejuvenate his career. But yeah, I think it's still one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets. But Paul Pogba said a while back, that he's classified Real Madrid as one of the biggest clubs clubs in the world. He said at some point in his career, he does want to play for Real Madrid. Obviously, Real Madrid, are willing to offer one or two of their players, to fund, to obviously, get Paul Pogba, to try and convince us, to a lower our price tag and all that, because Real Madrid won't pay 150 million pounds. Obviously, it came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Real Madrid were willing to offer us Gareth Bale in exchange for Paul Pogba and all that. Also, recent reports have come out saying that Real Madrid are willing to offer us Isco as part of a deal for Paul Pogba. And Isco, I don't mind Isco, but I just don't think he'd fit Manchester United's system. He's an attacking midfield. I think he's played in various other positions, when he was younger and all that. He's 27 years of age, is Isco. Obviously, he has spent the entirety of his career in Spain. Obviously, he's been at Real Madrid 6 years. I think he's played about 277 games for Real Madrid in all competitions. Real Madrid did get him back in 2013 from Malaga for around, was it 27 million pounds, and he actually began his career as a youngster with Valencia. Did Isco. I think Isco's been linked with Manchester United quite a few times in the past, and I do believe if he came to the Premier League, he probably would exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. I do believe he's got all the attributes to succeed in the Premier League, but I just don't think he'd fit Manchester United system. He'd probably fit Manchester City system and all that, but I just don't think he'd fit Manchester United system. Obviously, there's been speculation of Isco leaving Real Madrid because obviously he enjoyed a difficult time last season. Obviously, the majority of his appearances last season came on the bench and all that, especially under Santiago Solari. But yeah, this is why there's been rumours, that Isco, could currently, leave Real Madrid. But maybe Real Madrid may have to offload a couple of their players anywhere, to make room, for Paul Pogba, to fulfil that midfield area, in Real Madrid's team. But it's initially in Zinedine Zidane's plans, to link up Paul Pogba with Casemiro, in their current midfield. I also believe Christian Eriksen is on Real Madrid's agenda, and I think Manchester United have also been in for him. But like I said, Christian Eriksen probably would be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid than Paul Pogba and all that. But yeah, Paul Pogba's been subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. There has been quite a few players on our agenda, who could actually replace Paul Pogba in the football club. So now, big breaking news now about Ivan Rakitic. Now, it does now say reportedly Manchester United have revived their interest in Ivan Rakitic. Now, I think we'd inquired about Ivan Rakitic's services. Was it about 2 or 3 weeks ago? Now, reportedly Barcelona have made it clear, they do want around 45 million pounds. So basically, they are open to selling him. Reports have explained saying that Manchester United have put an offer in of around 31 million pounds, but obviously this offer is insufficient for Barcelona, because they've said they want around between, I think, around 44 or 45 million pounds. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, has identified him as his number one target, to replace Paul Pogba, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has instructed Manchester United, to sign Ivan Rakitic, to replace Paul Pogba and all that. And don't get me wrong, I like Ivan Rakitic a lot, but I would have reservations, to be quite fair of him coming out to Manchester United. To be quite honest with you, I don't think he'd succeed in the Premier League. Obviously, he's never ever played in the Premier League as Ivan Rakitic. He is 31 years of age. He can play as a central midfielder. He can also play as an attacking midfielder. But I think Ernesto Valverde confirmed, was it a couple of weeks ago, that Barcelona are willing to sell him, as long as they get a suitable offer for him, and as long as Barcelona do find an adequate replacement for Ivan Rakitic. I think from Ivan Rakitic's perspective, he's no intentions of leaving Barcelona. I think he says he's happy with Barcelona. I think he's still got 2 or 3 years left on his contract with Barcelona, but he has been at Barcelona 5 seasons. I think in the La Liga for Barcelona he's made 169 appearances and scored 24 goals. Obviously Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong coming in from Ajax this summer, so there was rumours saying when Frankie de Jong arrives and all that, Ivan Rakitic could be a surplus to requirements at Barcelona. So there has been rumours saying that he could possibly leave. Reportedly now Manchester United are back in for him again now, but I wouldn't want him at Manchester United. But don't get me wrong, he's had a fantastic career as Ivan Rakitic. Obviously, the majority of his silverware he has won has been at Barcelona. Obviously, before he was at Barcelona, I think he served about 3 years with Sevilla, didn't he? I think before that he had about 3.5 years with Schalke, and he actually began his professional career with Basel. Did Ivan Rakitic. So I do think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba, but I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to actually bring short-term players to the club. And obviously, probably Ivan Rakitic would be a short-term player, reflecting on his age. He is 31 years of age now. I don't know when he's going to be 32. I think also Inter Milan have been in for Ivan Rakitic. At Barcelona have basically said, they want around £45 million. Whether Manchester United are willing to pay that or not, I do not know. But looking at it, it is a reasonable figure. And, quite a lot of people have said, we should be sensible over our recruitment this summer. But yeah, would you like Ivan Rakitic to come in? But like I did basically say out in my video I did earlier on today, I did say when we do sign Wan-Bissaka, which obviously we have now, I think it did say in the Metro, I think our next two signings are expected to be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon, again would be a fantastic adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, and Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. Now potentially with the Bruno Fernandes, what's going on with Bruno Fernandes now? Potentially it's said earlier on this week, Manchester United have held more extensive talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent in London. Obviously over getting a deal concluded. Now I have been reading recent reports up about Bruno Fernandes, and it has been potentially saying that reportedly the Sporting Lisbon's perspective, they've confirmed, they want more than £31 million for Bruno Fernandes. But potentially, I think it confirmed earlier on this week. It did say, we're reluctant, to pay up to 60 or 70 million pounds, because it did say Sporting Lisbon, wanted around 60 or 70 million pounds for Bruno Fernandes. Now we do know he's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. We do know it also reported on earlier on this week, saying that Liverpool have held a negotiation with Bruno Fernandes' agent over an improved offer. Obviously, it confirmed last week saying that Liverpool had lodged a bidding for him of around €45 million. Obviously, that equates to around 40 million pounds sterling and all that. It also confirmed last week saying that Tottenham had been in negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' agent and all that, because obviously we do know that Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer, because obviously they haven't done any transfer activity since January 2018. The last player they signed was Lucas Moura. Obviously, Tottenham's record signing is Davinson Sanchez, who of course they paid 42 million pounds for a couple of years ago from Ajax, and obviously Mauricio Pochettino is going to want back in this summer, so there has been quite a few players on Tottenham's agenda, so they have been in there for Bruno Fernandes, but we do know it's been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. We do know it looks very, very likely at one point that Manchester City were going to get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes, but obviously as it did get currently confirmed, Manchester City have obviously now pulled out of the race and all that. And since City pulled out of the race, Liverpool have entered the race. Obviously, Tottenham and that have entered the race. But now, according to recent reports, Liverpool have withdrawn their interest, Tottenham have withdrawn their interest, and like I said, Manchester City have withdrawn their interest. So it just looks like now Manchester United are in the running for Bruno Fernandes. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say earlier on this week, he's basically told he's instructed Ed Woodward, to speed up a deal to sign Bruno Fernandes, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is demanding a deal to be fully completed for Bruno Fernandes by the beginning of next month and all that. So potentially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say anyway last month, he wants the majority of our transfer business done by the 1st of July. So hopefully, Bruno Fernandes can come in, because like I said, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. He is only 24 years of age. I think he's still under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023, but I think it's imminent he's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, did confirm he favours a move to Manchester United over Tottenham. Because he thinks it'll be more beneficial for his career. He believes it will rejuvenate his career, it'll take his footballing career to the next level. And he also did say the other week that he's attracted to the history and mystique of Manchester United, is Bruno Fernandes and all that. But hopefully, we can get him in. Like I said, we need new additions in that midfield. We need someone who can score goals in that midfield. We need, someone who can add depth in that in our midfield. And Bruno Fernandes definitely, would be the right solution. Obviously, he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. Last season, I think he scored 31 goals in 50 games in all competitions for Sporting Lisbon, so that's very, very impressive. Don't get me wrong, Bruno Fernandes hasn't really played to the highest level as yet. He hasn't played to the highest level as yet, Bruno Fernandes, but him coming to the Premier League is definitely going to take his footballing career to the next level. Bruno Fernandes did spend the majority of his career in Italy when he was younger, with Sampdoria and Udinese, and I think he also played for Novria, did Bruno Fernandes, but I think it's very imperative that we do get this deal over the line for him, because obviously he's one of our main priority targets, and he has been on our agenda for quite some time. But we obviously we're holding more talks with his agent, of course, over getting a deal concluded. It came out the other week actually saying we was preparing to put an offer in for Bruno Fernandes of around 49 million pounds. So hopefully, he does come to Manchester United. So I think he'll be a fantastic, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, because if he comes to Manchester United, he'll elevate Manchester United forward. Don't forget, he's got a hell of a lot of development in him. He rejuvenate the team. So yeah, I think it'd be fantastic if he comes to Manchester United. But we've been considered the favourites to sign him at least for the last couple of weeks. Obviously. Obviously, like I said to you about Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. Now, Manchester United are convinced, we can get a deal completed, for Sean Longstaff. Now, potentially, I think Sean Longstaff is valued at around £30 million. Obviously, he made his debut for Newcastle in December of last year, because obviously last season was his first season in the senior squad with Newcastle. He's only 21 years of age. I think he played about 11 games under Rafael Benitez last season, but he has been on Manchester United's agenda at least for the last couple of weeks and all that. I think he's valued at 30 million, but Manchester United may get him for around 25 million pounds. I think he's primarily a central midfielder. He is under contract with Newcastle, Sean Longstaff, until 2022 and all that. But like I said, he's valued at around 30 million pounds. I still think he's recovering from a knee ligament injury. He did suffer back in March. I think it was Newcastle's game against West Ham. So obviously didn't play the last couple of months of last season, due to the knee ligament injury he had sustained. And I still think he's recovering from this knee ligament injury. He actually began his career with Newcastle. I think he also, had the loan spell with Kilmarnock, and he also had a loan spell with Blackpool. So, we are convinced, we can get a deal completed for Sean Longstaff. So, probably Sean Longstaff and Bruno Fernandes are going to be our next two signings and all that, which is very, very good news. Obviously, I think another fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba, would be James Maddison from Leicester. I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would like to see James Maddison come in. Allegedly, he's interested in making a move to Manchester United this summer. Is James Maddison? He is interested in coming in. He did allegedly say, he wants to meet up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all that. According to the media last week, he wants to meet up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, reports came out about this was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? Saying that Manchester United would emerge him as a priority target. It said we'd made initial contact and all that, and he did say if Leicester were willing to sell him, they do want around £60 million for him and all that. But very, very good player, proven in the Premier League. Obviously, it was his first season in the Premier League. It was his first season in the Premier League last season with Leicester, because it was his debut season last season. Last season, he played 36 games in the Premier League. James Maddison was involved in 14 goals, so he got 7 goals, provided 7 assists, and also created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. So his stats, of course, are very, very impressive and all that. And Leicester did get him last summer from Norwich for around £20 million, because he did serve a good couple of years in the Championship with Norwich. But quite a few teams have been tracking James Maddison, since he was a teenager at Coventry, because actually, James Maddison, began his career with Coventry and all that, progressing up the ranks with Coventry. Obviously, I think he also had the loan spell in Scotland, with Aberdeen and all that. But yeah, very, very good player is James Maddison, and I think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would like to see him coming. I think he's still got 4 years left on his deal with Leicester, but he is only 22 years of age, so he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. As well, Youri Tielemans, I think quite a few Manchester United fans, would like to see Youri Tielemans come in. Now, potentially, it came out a couple of weeks ago, saying that we had rekindled our interest in Youri Tielemans. Now, I do like him a lot. He is only 22 years of age. Obviously, he's had about 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because obviously he'd initially been on loan with Leicester, since January. Obviously, his loan spell now has come to an end with Leicester. Obviously, he has made the return to Monaco, but I think he has confirmed as Youri Tielemans he will not be playing his trade with Monaco next season. He won't be staying at Monaco. But yeah, it did say Manchester United would in for him. It did say we'd made contact with his agent over getting a possible deal concluded. He is available for a reasonable figure. I think Monaco rate him at around £40 million. He's under contract with Monaco until 2022. Tottenham have inquired about his services before. Manchester City have also been in there for him. But I think Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal. Leicester have been in negotiations with Monaco about this. Obviously, it's initially, I think Leicester are orchestrating on putting Youri Tielemans alongside James Maddison in their midfield, because probably Leicester believe they'll blend in very, very well together. They'll complement each other, really, really well. So Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal. Initially, Monaco got him for around £21 million a couple of years ago from Anderlecht, because I think Manchester United were also tracking Youri Tielemans when he was at Anderlecht, because obviously Youri Tielemans began his career with Anderlecht and all that. So again, I think he would be a fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba. I think he'd be a fantastic replacement there for Paul Pogba. Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. I haven't read up about Giovanni Lo Celso quite lately. Obviously, it did say Manchester United had expressed an interest. Also, it was one of Tottenham's main priority targets. I think it still is one of Tottenham's priority targets. I'm not too sure if they're still in for him now because I haven't read up about him lately. I do know last month that Tottenham had lodged a bid in for Giovanni Lo Celso around £53 million. But obviously, Real Betis had currently turned this down. I think Real Betis did blatantly make it clear, they want in the region of around 70 or 80 million pounds if they are willing to sell him and all that. He is only 23 years of age. Obviously, last season was his first season with Real Betis. Obviously, he spent the majority of last season on loan with Real Betis. Obviously, Real Betis got him last summer, I think, from PSG. And obviously, Real Betis did make the deal permanent back in April. They paid around £20 million, to make the deal permanent and all that. But if Real Betis, of course, do sell him, PSG do benefit from it because obviously PSG do get a percentage, of course, of any sale. And I think Giovanni Lo Celso's release clause is around £88 million. £88 million, but it did say, reflecting back last month, that Tottenham had been in negotiation with Real Betis over getting a possible deal concluded for him and all that. So yeah, it does say Manchester United have been in there for him. He's 23, he's of course he's Argentinian, so there has been so many midfielders on our agenda, and I do believe we need a holding midfielder. Like I said, we need a replacement for Fernando Herrera, definitely. We need a replacement for Paul Pogba if he does leave Manchester United, and I think we need a holding midfield because Matic is too inconsistent, he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him. Fellaini left back in the January transfer window. Obviously, Scott McTominay, he's too inexperienced at the moment. So yeah, I do believe we need a holding midfielder. But like I was saying about Bruno Fernandes, I just think, whatever Sporting Lisbon are demanding, I think we should just pay it. I think we should just pay the 60 or 70 million pounds, they are currently demanding. Because look what we did last summer, we bought Fred. Yeah, we bought Fred for how much, 52 million pounds was it? Or it might have been 50 million pounds or something like that. And Fred hasn't really got a great pedigree, don't get me wrong, he was a good player at Shakhtar Donetsk, but he hasn't really replicated this, since he's come to Manchester United, Fred. And I don't know if he is the long-term solution. I don't even know if Scott McTominay is a long-term solution because obviously these players, Fred and McTominay and that are currently are fringe players. To be fair to Fred and McTominay though, towards the back end of last season, they did demonstrate themselves really well, and they did play really well towards the back end of last season. But like I said, I still don't know if Fred is a long-term solution. But you can't put Fred in Bruno Fernandes' calibre or level. So I think we should just pay the 60 or 70 million pounds. That Sporting Lisbon are currently demanding, but I don't think we're willing to pay it. I think we're trying to get him for as cheap as we possibly can and all that. But like I said, very essential. We want to get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. Now, potentially, as I have been updating you on a regular basis, in regards to Romelu Lukaku. Now, we do know he's been relentlessly, linked to move to Inter Milan as Romelu Lukaku. Now, it did confirm earlier on this week that obviously Romelu Lukaku's agent had been in Milan and held talks with Inter Milan and all that, because obviously Lukaku's agent is doing everything he can, to try to get Lukaku's transfer to Inter Milan completed. And from Lukaku's agent's perspective, he believes that Lukaku wants to leave Manchester United, and he also said that Inter Milan, of course, are still trying to sign him and all that. So potentially, I think Inter Milan are struggling to generate enough funds, to meet the £75 million valuation, because we blatantly made it clear, we want £75 million, I think maybe at least. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because we got him for £75 million. Obviously, there were 15 million add-ons included in the deal, which did potentially rise to around £90 million. Lukaku still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United, and he's on around £250,000 a week and all that. But the fee is proving problematic for Inter Milan, because Inter Milan have been negotiating with us over coming to an agreement on a fee for Romelu Lukaku. But I do believe everything has been agreed with Inter Milan and Lukaku except the fee. I think it did confirm Inter Milan have agreed the personal terms. They've also agreed the personal terms. Yes, they've agreed. Lukaku has agreed a deal with Inter Milan with around £180,000 a week and all that. And I think it did say allegedly signed a 5-year deal with them. so he will be under contract with them until 2024 and all that. But potentially, a fee has not yet, come to an agreement. But potentially, Antonio Conte has identified, Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Obviously, Romelu Lukaku recently described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. So Lukaku is keen on playing under Antonio Conte's guidance because he believes he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. But reflecting back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte, wanted Romelu Lukaku. This is when he was manager of Chelsea. But obviously, he didn't go to Chelsea. He came to Manchester United and all that. But potentially, recent reports have come out saying that Inter Milan have orchestrated something out. It did say, it's been coming out in the last couple of days, should I say. This is actually stemming from Sky in Italy. And, they basically said Inter Milan, will pay Manchester United a loan fee, or will offer Manchester United a loan fee of around £9 million, to take Lukaku out, on loan for the next 2 seasons, with then the obligation to buy for the further £54 million. So obviously, that mounts up to around £63 million in total. But I doubt Manchester United, will go along with this. I think we will definitely, reject this, because I think it's very unlikely, we will wait for the majority of the money, in the next couple of seasons. So I think we're only willing to let Lukaku go on a permanent deal, and we basically said, want around £75 million for him. But Lukaku's been at Manchester United 2 years. He was exceptional in his first season, but, didn't really replicate that, of course, in his second season. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 96 games for Manchester United in all competitions. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed his surplus to requirements at Manchester United, and obviously we know since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, that Rashford has been first choice ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and obviously Lukaku is reluctant, to play up a backup role to Marcus Rashford. But as you all do know, I've got strong reservations about him. Some of his first touch concerns, should I say. He hasn't got that endless potential. He isn't good in the air. He's a big game bottle of and all that. So I think it would be beneficial if the club, do offload him. Potentially as well, I think his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League, so I'll give him that credibility. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. His ratios, of course, is very, very good. But I think Manchester United, do need to get rid of him. But Inter Milan are struggling to generate enough funds, to meet that £75 million valuation. Obviously, Inter Milan have tried offering us Mario Icardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku. And like I said, I would take Mario Icardi, especially as part of the deal with Lukaku, because I think Icardi's goal-scoring pedigree, is really, really good. And I do believe, if he did come to Manchester United, he would bring us them goals that we do need, because that was a problem last season. Wasn't scoring enough goals, wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal and all that. And I do believe Mario Icardi, would be the right solution. Don't get me wrong, I've got some strong reservations about Mario Icardi, but he has been at Inter Milan 6 years. He served the majority of his career in Italy. Majority of his career in Italy. He's been there 6 years at Inter Milan, like I said. He's scored 111 goals in 188 games for Inter Milan. So them stats are very, very impressive. He's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. But I think Mario Icardi did endure a difficult season last season with Inter Milan, because obviously Inter Milan have increasingly become frustrated with him. This is why the main factor reason why they want to get rid of him. And also, I think he also lost the captaincy, back in February, did Mario Icardi. But he's 26 years of age, so he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him, and he's more or less the same age as Romelu Lukaku, because I think Romelu Lukaku is around 26. Before he was at Inter Milan, I think he actually began his professional career with Sampdoria, did Mario Icardi, but I'd like him to come to Manchester United and all that. He'd bring us them goals that we do need. Also, Inter Milan have tried offering us Ivan Perisic plus cash for Romelu Lukaku, but again, Manchester United have turned this down, because obviously Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. It was a long-term target in the Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. He's no longer a Manchester United target, he's Ivan Perisic and all that. So I'm hopeful we can get rid of Romelu Lukaku. So, like I said, there's been quite a few players on our agenda. There's been quite a few players on our agenda, who could actually replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club. So, like I said, Mario Icardi is one of them. Now, there has been a lot of talks going on about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. Now, obviously, reports came out earlier on this week, or should I say it was yesterday, and they basically said, allegedly, according according to, I think, reports in Italy, they've said that Aubameyang has allegedly agreed a transfer to Manchester United, and reportedly he said yes to a move to Manchester United. But we do know that the stories, started out about this last week. This was coming from Andy Goldstein, who's a presenter of Talk Sport. I know he said Manchester United are interested in signing Patrick Emerick Aubameyang, and he did say we were preparing to pay up to around £70 million for him. Now I think Arsenal are open, to us. I think they are definitely open to selling Aubameyang, because obviously Arsenal have got a tight budget this summer. They've only got around 40 or 45 million pounds to spend. So obviously Arsenal will want to offload a couple of their first team players and all that, to help them generate funds and help them of course rebuild their squad. Arsenal have basically said they're demanding at least around 56 million pounds. Basically they're looking to recoup the money that they did pay for him from Borussia Dortmund back in January 2018, because Arsenal did pay 56 million pounds for him, and I think it was actually a club record fee and all that. But like I said, I like Patrick Emerick Aubameyang a lot. I've always liked him. I liked him especially during his Borussia Dortmund days. He's 30 years of age. He has got 2 years left on his deal with Arsenal. I think he's also been linked to a move to China. I think he reportedly got offered around 300 grand a week, to play in the Chinese Super League and all that. But like I said, I don't believe there's a lot of credibility in this, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think it's just the media speculating on this story, and I think they're basically they're justifying their existence on this. So I don't believe there's a lot of credibility in it, like I said. So I am very, very sceptical, to be quite honest with you, of Aubameyang, coming to Manchester United. I'd love him, to come to Manchester United. His finishing's good, his movement's good, he's got that endless potential. Obviously, his goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic. He's got that proven pedigree as being a central striker, because we do know that Aubameyang is actually not predominantly a striker, but he can also play as a wide forward, so he can play on the left. He can also play on the right and all that. Aubameyang last season scored 22 goals in 36 Premier League games. He also won the Golden Boot last season. Obviously, he was the Premier League's joint top goal scorer alongside Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. And I think since his arrival at Arsenal in January 2018, I think the total appearances he has made in the Premier League is around 49 appearances, and he has scored 32 goals. So I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United, but of course he's aging up. But I think if we were to get a deal over the line for Patrick Emerick Aubameyang, I think it would make a similar deal to the Robin van Persie one, and I think it'd also make a similar impact to how Robin van Persie did when we did sign him from Arsenal, back in 2012. You can say Van Persie won us the league in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season, reflecting on the goals in that he scored on Van Persie. So he was a great signing for Manchester United at that time. But Manchester United and Arsenal have done business in the past. They got Welbeck from us, about 4 or 5 years ago. Also, we got Sanchez from them as part of a swap deal with Mkhitaryan back in January 2018. Like I said, we got Robin van Persie from them back in 2012. So I think Aubameyang, would be a fantastic replacement. He would be a fantastic replacement for Romelu Lukaku, but in my opinion, I don't believe there's a lot of credibility in it. But reportedly, he has said yes to a move to Manchester United. But obviously, this story is stemming from Andy Goldstein, who is a presenter of Talk Sport. Obviously, we do know there's been talks about Ben Yedder going on this week and all that. Obviously, Ben Yedder plays for Sevilla. He is available for a reasonable figure. He did say, we was willing to trigger Ben Yedder's release clause. I think his release clause is around 35 million pounds and all that. I think we're only willing to go in for Ben Yedder, of course. From Lukaku, does leave the football club. He's got 2 years left, I think, on his deal with Sevilla. Sevilla did get him in 2016 from Toulouse for around £9 million, and he's done really, really well for Sevilla. I think his goal scoring form's very, very good. He did prove that last season. I think in 54 games last season for Sevilla, I think he scored 30 goals and provided 11 assists. So that is, actually, very, very impressive. He is 28 years of age, so he is highly experienced. I think he is about 5'7". So do you think Wissam Ben Yedder, would be a good replacement for Romelu Lukaku? Again, Paul Dybala has been on our agenda. So if Lukaku leaves, who would you get in, to replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club? let me know in your comments below. But like I said, probably our expectations, going on into this season, probably we'll be to finish in the top four, maybe in the Carabao Cup, of course, maybe a winner of the Europa League. I don't believe our expectations, will be probably to win the Premier League or challenge for the Premier League, because I think we're a number of years off, for mounting any kind of title challenge up. I do believe at the moment City is strides ahead of us, Liverpool, of course, are strides ahead of us. So it's very imperative, that we'll catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, said towards the back end of last season, that he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But like I said, Champions League football is always very essential, when you do want to get your number one targets and all that. And I do know, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. And the main factor reason why we've been a toxic club since Alex Ferguson retired, because, we've been mismanaged. Obviously, that's why we've been underachieving. And obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. A hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. Players have come in, and of course players have gone, and so obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding. The only players that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's is at the moment is Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, but obviously Solskjaer is still inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. He's still inheriting players even Van Gaal. Plays even the Van Gaal era, there's still matter here from the David Moyes era, and obviously, he's still inheriting 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era and all that, and I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, can take Manchester United forward, and, I hope he's got, the abilities and, the statures, to get us in that commanding position, where we do want to be, and we do want to be back, to being a competitive elite level football club. Solskjaer was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson, and obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, like I did say earlier on in the like I did say earlier on in the video, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following a policy that that proved successful under Alex Ferguson. That's obviously bringing young players in that can grow, develop and emulate into superstars and all that. So I do basically like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. As a manager, he hasn't got a great experience of being a manager. I know, as people are saying, he did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Molde and all that. Only had a short tenure with Cardiff. But he hasn't really got the experience to the highest level, but he did still win a couple of trophies with Molde, the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So you could say that's a good achievement and all that. But I hope he can take us forward, and like I said, we need to maybe give him at least a year, or maybe even 2 years, to see how it currently plans out, because we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers, you see, because we've already sacked 3 managers since Alex Ferguson retired. But like I said, regardless of who our manager is, no one is ever going to follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. We're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years of success. But our objective is just to getting back, to being a competitive elite level football club. But we need to see vast improvements going into this season, because last season was disappointing. We finished 6th. We didn't win many silverware. We haven't won any silverware in the last couple of seasons, and so we need to see vast improvements going into this season. Obviously, as we all know, we definitely need a central defender. We need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, and vast majority of Manchester United fans will probably say, we need 2 central defenders, because obviously Smalling's not good enough. Phil Jones and that is not good enough. They're too inconsistent now, and it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Phil Jones new long-term contracts. So that was a mistake for Manchester United. They've been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones has been here 8 years, and comparing them, I think Smalling is a much better defender than Phil Jones, but I do think they are too inconsistent now. But yeah, I do believe we do need a central. We need at least 1 central defender, because I don't think we've had a world class central defender. Since we had the likes of Vidic. Since we had the likes of Ferdinand and all that. There's been a lot of talks about Issa Diop, going on from West Ham. Maybe some Manchester United fans, would like to see him come in, but I think West Ham are reluctant, to sell him. I think they're only willing to sell him if Manchester United pay up to around £60 million. Some reports were speculating, saying that West Ham wanted around £75 million for Issa Diop. We've been in for Issa Diop at least in the last couple of weeks now. Obviously, it did say Manchester United are interested in him, and it did say Issa Diop is keen on making a move to Manchester United and all that. He's proven in the Premier League. Obviously, it was his first season in the Premier League last season with West Ham. I think he played about 33 games for West Ham last season. I think he made about 38 appearances in all competitions. He's got 4 years left, I think, on his deal with West Ham. West Ham got him last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million. He's only 22 years of age himself. He's only 22 years of age himself. I think I presume he must be very, very good in the air because he's very, very tall. He's about 6'4". I think he's also a good athlete and all that. But I think we've emerged him now as a priority target. And Issa Diop, would be a cheaper solution than Harry Maguire. He would be a cheaper solution than Koulibaly from Napoli and all that. But yeah, I probably would, take Issa Diop at Manchester United, but I just don't think he's worth, what West Ham are currently demanding. Obviously, it got confirmed the other week, saying that, we'd lodged a bid in of around 45 million. It also said we offered Phil Jones as part of a deal for Issa Diop, but West Ham, of course, had turned this down. I think there was something going on. I think it explained in the media the other day as well that we also were preparing to put another £45 million offer in for him, and it did say, we was willing to offer West Ham the choice between either Eric Bailly or Diamond and Marcus Rojo. That's it. But I don't think West Ham will be willing to go along with that. Did say the other week that West Ham, wanted Anthony Martial in exchange for Issa Diop. But obviously, Manchester United, of course, are not going to be willing to go along with that because we know how imperative Anthony Martial is. And yeah, so there's been a lot of central defenders on our agenda. Like I said, I think Koulibaly's probably now out of the equation. He's not going to be coming. Obviously, Matty Stillit's obviously now out of the equation. He was one of our main priority targets at one point. Obviously, now he's going to Juventus, or has gone to Juventus. But I do believe now with our priority targets are Harry Maguire and Issa Diop. But I think, like I updated you on now, we have dropped our interest in Harry Maguire because Leicester are demanding too much money for him. Recent reports said now they want £100 million. They want 90 million up front with 10 million in add-ons. We have been notified about this from Leicester. So I think now we've actually dropped our interest in Harry Maguire. So yeah, we've definitely now got to get a central defender in. But like I did currently say, there's quite a few players that are out of the equation now. Like I said, Adrian Rabiot's out of the equation. Manchester United were in for him. Tanguy Ndombele, of course, now I think is out of the equation. But yeah, very, very happy, that we've got Wan-Bissaka on the board. He's a second sign this summer, second sign under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Like I said, it takes our net spend to around £68 million. So like I said, I think the club now need to orchestrate on selling players because it reportedly said we've only been given £100 million to spend this summer. It said that last week. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider a subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.